So you're wondering if you're in the right place, doing the right things, and air quotes on all of that. Well, I'm gonna make it make sense, but hi, this is Marissa with Marissa Moments. So true story. First and foremost, last night, and it doesn't matter when you watch this, so the other day, we'll just say, I went to a baptismal class, right? And as I went there, well, first and foremost, before I even went, I signed up to go, had the greatest intention and all of those things. I felt led and called and all those things. But the day of, it was like raining outside. And I'm like, I got to put on my coat. I got to get off the couch. I got to do all these things. And I really didn't want to go, if I'm being quite honest. I didn't want to go. And, but then God basically was like, oh, you're going to go. So spoiler alert, I went. And then when I arrived, there was a seat specifically for me. So I felt kind of special, right? I go in, I sit down, but then I'm looking around the room and I'm excited and all of these things. And then I recognize as people are talking, they're a little bit different than me, right? And which is a beautiful thing. The difference is it's different facets like a diamond, and it makes it beautiful. It makes it shine, all the things. But in that moment, I started to get in my head and I was like, should I be here? Am I supposed to be here? Because it feels like everybody's at different places and spaces in their walks. And I don't know, maybe I don't know the answers to these questions. You know, I have this sense that I have to be perfect, even though God had already gave me that look ahead and told me a week ago. He said, don't come to me in your perfection, come to me in your imperfection, right? So I was there and I was kind of riding on that notion that God had put on my heart. And as we continued on, I didn't even want to speak. Now, if you ask anybody that was there, they would probably be like, I couldn't tell. But internally, I didn't feel like I wanted to speak. I was afraid. I said, well, everybody else is kind of, very demure, very, all of these things, very classy, very graceful, all of these things. And then here I am. Hey, everybody, I'm just busting in there. So anyway, I got over that and I spoke. And then after a little while, I started to get confirmation after confirmation. And then there was another moment where I was like, man, I'm getting kind of warm in here. Start to sip on my water. And I'm like, okay, is this heat? Am I getting hot because I'm not supposed to be here? Lord, are you trying to tell me something? And then somebody else actually took off their sweater almost at the same time. And it was like a confirmation again from God saying, no, child, it's just warm. It's not you. It's just warm. It's called the heat, the temperature, right? So I'm saying all of that to say this. There will be many times when you're on this walk in your journey, whether it be just for your healing or for your development of relationship with God, your Father, or with Jesus, right? Where you're going to feel like, am I in the right place? And what God put on my heart, even in that moment and today to share with you, is that, yes, you are. And even more so, what I hear is come as you are, because God is not looking for duplicates. God is not looking for clones. God made you the way that you are for a reason. And if you're in that room, if you're in that place and space, it's because He has already predestined and pre-designed for you to be there. See, sometimes we'll have this imposter syndrome that tries to wash over us, and that's nothing but the enemy saying that you're not worthy. Right? Trying to get in our head and trying to keep us suppressed, trying to keep us depressed and compressed and all the pressed, right? Even though God is saying it's time for you to ascend, it's time for you to go higher. But if we give into our trauma, if we give into that toxic training, if we get into those thoughts of defeat and allow the enemy to manipulate us using our minds and not even our heart, but our mind, because our heart will always tell us which way to go. But if we allow the enemy space in our mind, then we will never live up to our truest potential. We will never be able to walk in our purpose. So yes, sometimes you are going to have to be uncomfortable. It would have been very comfortable for me to stay at home and sit on my couch and throw on my jammies and all those things. But you know what was uncomfortable? That walk through the rain to get into that space that I was predestined to be. And where this is going to lead me, God only knows. But I'm open to wherever the revelation is going to be, right? I say all of that to say this. If you're there, you're supposed to be there. Stop self-reflecting, stop overthinking, stop allowing the enemy space in your mind, and just continue to move forward. When you have those moments of doubt and all of those things, just say a prayer. And then open your eyes, because God will reveal little signs and symbols everywhere around you that confirm you are where you're supposed to be. So that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. Apples and tomatoes, all the things, and bye.